You had moving rendering background on menu on Smurl. Yeah, yeah.
Facility powering up.
We're about to begin.
Tell me, are
I
you
think a big
ready
part of
for
it was
battle?
like, at least for HTC, there was enough money for HTC to be known by every player, but Blizzard didn't. Like, it was never in the game, was never in the launcher, almost never. Log
Systems
into League,
online in
LCS
10
is
seconds.
plastered all over your home screen, everywhere. It's impossible not to know about it.
5,
But Blizzard never did
4,
that. Like, I don't know if the
3,
technology was not
2,
there or like what,
1.
but like they just didn't.
Gates open.
I actually think that's a
Time for
big
action.
reason HTC failed. Not necessarily because it was the worst investment ever, although I'm not saying it was a good investment. But they invested that much money into it and they never really promoted it. You know? Like, what? Of course it was gonna fail. They put so much money into it, but they never put it into the game. Like, you didn't even have like one intern do an announcement about the game in like 5 years. How are you gonna put in 6 million every year, but not even have one intern code up something to just have it in the home screen? You know, it was like doomed to fail. It was like missing so many pieces. Super weird.
Oh dear. The beacons are energizing. You have to control them.
You did what you had to.
Yo, what's up, Pizza Steve? Thank you, thank you. No worries, my man, no worries. Well, hopefully I don't have to take any more breaks. Copium. If I keep getting better, I won't have to.
The beacons have activated. Control them. Let this work.
I shall aid you in your fight. Our ally is in dire need.
Oh, that's not good. Dragon's pretty good though. Could probably do something with Dragon. I'm down. Down a mess.
Whatever you want.
Could have also been a bust. I don't know what we're talking about. If we're still talking about HGC, yeah. It still could have failed, I think, even with them, you know, even if they did the stuff I said. But like, you'd imagine if they're investing that much in it, they'd at least try. You know, I feel like they never even really tried that hard to get the general population to know about it. Oh shit, this might be. This is a really good remove roots kind of game, huh? I think we need this. And slows.
You call me? I don't care.
I very rarely pick anything other than a Monty Hide. I pick Voodoo Shuffle sometimes when I think I really need it. Usually against like Mei Anduin. Mei Anduin is like a big pair, a big duel where I feel like I need it.
I could use assistance.
If it's like you know, Mei Malf or something, stuff like that. They usually need to have at least 2 heroes with really annoying things that I could remove instantly. And that's when I'll do it.
I don't care.
Hero slain.
Have a nice trip.
Excellent. The enemy
You think it didn't help HOTS is the least likely to produce individual players that people want to follow? It's up to Blizzard to keep interest since hard carries are not common in HOTS. I don't think that's true at all. You should see some of my old tournaments. Oh, I was individually playing out of my mind, baby.
Welcome back,
Like,
fan. Daily
you can definitely make some really good
$3.50.
individual plays in the HOTS. And just look at like any great players' plays, like Wubby, Rich, you know, there you can make really good plays. You can. I think the bigger problem is they never promoted it, and also, well, in terms of the players, there is this like I think part of that problem is oh my god, we both live. Alright, we'll call it a draw.
Oh, I know it.
Part of that problem is based on viewers and the players. I almost want to say it's like as much our fault as it is Blizzard's for what you just said there. Blizzard's fault for not promoting HTC enough to ever make it so that casual players actually knew what it was. But also players' fault because I've talked about this a lot. It's just boring as shit. Like players don't want drama. Players really don't want drama because they get too much backlash. Same for every game, but especially bad in HOTS. Okay, a Gen G, MVP Black, 60 game winning streak or something insane. Didn't lose a set in like 30 straight games. You know, won like 5 straight tournaments. Next interview, it's like, do you think you're gonna beat Dignitas or whatever? Do you think you're gonna beat your next team? Not even Dignitas. Just ask him, do you think you're gonna beat this insert X in a team that they're 100% going to be guaranteed, you know? And they would just be like, oh, anything can happen, you know, we have to be respectful of our opponents and we have to try our best in every game. And that was just every interview, player interview, like every time. It's just boring as shit, like no one cares. Even the people that might have glanced at it, be like, that's not an interview that you care about. Like, literally no one gives a shit about those kind of words. It's good not to embarrass yourself if you lose, and it's good to be like a respectful person, but it's terrible in terms of keeping viewership and interest. People are too scared to shit talk, exactly. And Blizzard actually figured this out because in 2018, in the last HTC, it was actually like I get memed about this a lot actually. They did an interview with me and they blasted that shit, dude. I was like the face of the 2018, which is unfortunate because that was the year when we lost Sam and we had to get Vin, who while he's good, he wasn't even an HTC player. Like we lost literally one of the best players in our region, and we had to get a player that wasn't even competing to replace him, right? So I knew we were not gonna like win Blizzcon or anything close, you know. You think I didn't know? I knew. Imagine losing like a double lift and then getting like some guy in you know, I don't know, that's never even played in competitive, just some random ranked guy. He might be a Grandmaster, but he's never even played competitive, right? Like I knew we weren't gonna do well. I knew it. The situation was just too stacked against us. But at the Blizzard interview, they were like, come on man, you gotta say something. You gotta say something. Come on. No one else can say something. If anyone from North America can say something, it's gotta be you. You gotta make it interesting, man. And like my situation was effed, because Sam ditched, right? Like we were effed. So I was like, okay. I think I have the potential to be the best player in the world. You know, I said this in the interview. And then they literally they cut it. They cut the interview. They like cut the potential out, you know? They literally like ninja edited it. And then at the end it was like it was just me and I'm just there and it's like and then you see it cuts to another frame and it's like I am the best player in the world. Yeah. So they just cut out the potential part just to make it a little bit spicier, and they blasted that shit at BlizzCon. Oh my god, I saw my face everywhere at BlizzCon, dude. Everywhere. I didn't even see it. But that was the best they could get to make it not boring as shit. And I knew that's what they were trying to do. Because they told me that's what they were trying to do, right? They needed something more like spicy, more interesting. Everyone's interview is boring as shit. I'm dead. Holy shit, I'm dead. I took one with me. Worth. Hella worth. I have 244 stacks, by the way. We're dinging out our life. You know, and to this day, you'll see like random people in my stream or like other streams, or oh, that's the guy that said he was the best player in the world, and then picked Murky or something and got rolled, right? So really, half of it is the player's fault, and half of it I think is the viewer's fault. You know, you can't say anything remotely interesting, or the viewers will just eat you alive. And then you get bored as a viewer because the players don't say anything interesting. Why do you think we don't say anything interesting? Because you guys are a bunch of like, not all of you guys, but a lot of you guys, you know. Viewers are just bullies to pro players for the most part. So pro players never want to say anything interesting because they're like, oh, if I say I'm gonna win this game and I lose, the next 500 comments on every stream in Reddit will be flaming me. So I think I just won't say anything. So I think that was the bigger problem. That's why I think it's like all three are to blame for that at least.
Perfection.
Pay attention! Danger is near!
That much confidence you just go to League? I could. Like, I have no doubt in my mind if I tried hard enough, I could get to LCS eventually. The problem is it was just like, at what cost and how long would it take me? Because at this point, it is not a, at this point, it is not a,
Hey fan,
even
glad
playing
to
ground
see you back healthy
in
and
something
fit.
like League.
From my own experience,
competing against
the
people that
mass
have been
in my
playing for
lungs
10,
I
15
told you
years.
about.
So
I recommend that you
you're 10,
possibly
15
have
years
blood
behind
tests
if you
over the
start
next
League
few
now.
months to rule out post-COVID syndrome. Stay healthy.
I just don't know if I want to be like starting something where I'm effectively 10 to 15 years behind other people. I almost forgot I had this one. Hell, I effed that up, but whatever. We're too far ahead. You think I'd pick it up pretty easily? I think I could pick it up pretty easily too. But there's a difference between picking it up and like knowing every hero at a pro level. Similar to the CCL players, okay? They picked up HOTS pretty well, pretty fast, you could say. Oh my god, actually. But like, do they know what every hero does? And do they know how to play in every situation like I would? Hell no, they don't. And a lot of that is because I have like 10,000 extra hours than they do, you know? Even if you pick it up fast, when you're competing against someone similar or better than you, and that guy has 10 to 15,000 extra hours on you, it's gonna make a difference. It's not that I can't pick it up fast, but when you're competing against the best of the best, time spent in the game matters a lot. So it's not impossible, it's just if you were gonna do it, you're starting with a big disadvantage. So I just don't know if I want that kind of big disadvantage. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's not impossible. But there is a huge disadvantage. GG. Yeah, I might be exaggerating a little. Maybe it's not like 10 years behind, but it is like significant. You're many, many thousands of hours behind. Even if the game gets patched and it's not like what it was 10 years ago. It's still a similar enough game to where experience matters. Oh, 3,000. I guess that's not the worst. I could keep playing on this for a little. Pretty bad though, that's almost GM. Like, it's gonna be hard to get games. Couple more wins in this